So it's a gray and dreary day. I'm Bill Snodgrass. Welcome to episode 72.
Should have done this, should have quit this long ago. Can't stand another heartbreak, but it's time to let it go. It'd be easier for me if I turn away to flee. Oh, but there's something holding on, the way of being long gone.
And so we start a Friday. I had a sub yesterday because Anthony, my oldest, graduated. Found a few artifacts from class yesterday. And anyway, so that's what that is. Sure, that was a fascinating way to start a vlog. So here's the thought for this video. Since I'm starting off at my desk as a teacher a little bit after 7, let's see, 7:10. So I just got here and got set up. Here's the thought. I tweeted this the other day on my Twitter channel, which you should go, whatever you do, follow on Twitter. What is it? Followers. So you go follow on Twitter. I never can keep that straight. You subscribe to YouTube. You have friends on Facebook. You have followers. Also, I got a Snapchat. I don't know how it works. The guys in my 6th period class were like, "Oh, you gotta get a Snapchat." So, new thing for me to learn. Hey, there's a side point. You're never too old to learn something. Anyway, so here's a serious thought. This came out on Twitter the other day. So the tweet that I wanted to comment on. It takes forever to load sometimes. Got this rainbow spinny wheel of death. I don't even know what that was. So it's ready finally. Here's the thing. I started this. I did a couple of a pair of tweets. A good teacher creates an environment and circumstances in which the most likely outcome is learning. And then the students have to act within that environment. The students have to act within that environment to learn. So it's not just on the teacher, but it is also the teacher's responsibility to create that learning environment. One of my colleagues talks about students who are intentional non-learners. And that is that they have the content right in front of them and they decide to ignore the content and do something completely different. So the intentional non-learners aside, my corollary to the creating the circumstances, the whole aspect of leading a horse to water. And so I said, but teachers make sure there is some water in the pond. And then a follow-up tweet, it says, it's a lot of work. I gotta quit shaking the desk. It's a lot of work to lead a horse to water. And so if you do that, if you lead a horse to water, you need to make sure there's some water in the pond. So I have kind of ruminating in my mind this kind of a water in the pond idea. Make sure there's some water in the pond. I don't know where it's going to go. I might do an outline or something and maybe try to write some professional growth something, PowerPoint or presentation. So anyway, that's it. There needs to be some water in the pond. And a friend of mine in Memphis is also a teacher, and I look at some of the things he does. Some posts on Facebook. I think he's still teaching in middle school age, and the water in the pond kind of idea. His pond is so full of water, and he's got sweet clear water. It's not like any stagnant scum on top of it. So I think you know who you are. If you should happen to stumble upon this video, yeah, I bet your pond is full of water. So that's kind of the serious thought on this as a teacher. When you lead the students to the pond, make sure there's some good, clean, fresh water in there so that they can choose to drink. And the ones that do choose to drink, they will get something worthwhile out of it. So anyway, that's it. That's the serious note, which is probably a great way to start a Friday on a serious note. So anyway, that's it. Make faces at the camera. Pop-tart. Not sponsored, not cooked, still delicious. Well, it is still Friday, and it is still gray and blah. But I wanted to throw a couple other pieces in this video before I shut this one down. So I went to the doctor just now. I got my results back from my tumor test, and they were not all that excited about the fact that I removed my own stitches. They kind of thought that was, I don't know what they thought. I could hear them talking in the hall. But before I give you the whole rundown on my medical thing, I want to talk about graduation, because it's graduation season, to be sure. And I'm very proud. My oldest son just graduated from a nursing program, got his RN. He has to pass the boards, but he's on track for that. So that's a pretty cool deal. Went to the graduation. First, just graduations in general. I've been to a lot of graduations. I've been doing an awful lot of graduations, and I got to be honest. I really gotta say this. I cannot ever think of a graduation ceremony that I was like, wow, that was interesting. That was fantastic. That was really awesome. No. I've graduated quite a few times myself. I have 6. I've been to 5 between the step kids and the kids. I've been to 5 graduations. Got another one coming up. I've been to graduations of friends of the family. I'm just gonna say right now, as a rule, they are too long, they are too boring, and I'm not even really sure who enjoys them. I know I'm proud to see the graduation, and I know what the graduation means, and I'm proud of my son. I've been proud all the times but I'm not sure who actually enjoys graduation ceremonies. So this particular graduation ceremony was in a gym. I was the literally very first. This is a big surprise. I was the first person in the gym. Now, if you know me, no one is surprised by that. So I'm sitting in the bleachers, and people are filling in around. And my daughter-in-law, she comes, and the kid, the grand, and I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. About the time for the service to begin, this group comes in, and this lady sits beside me, and a dude sits behind me, and another dude sits beside him, and there's this baby. Not baby, it's like a 2 or 3, I don't know, it's a something-year-old scream machine. And it starts kicking me in the back, and the guy's like, stop kicking that man. That didn't have any effect on the child's feet. And the kid is screaming and crying, and it's like, nah. And they're not any less loud than the child, the parents, or the adults that are supposed to be taking care of this 2 or 3-year-old. And they're like, you're gonna blah, blah, blah. And the kid's like, I'm hungry. And they're like, you're not hungry. We just fed you, and we're gonna feed you again. You're not hungry. And the kid's screaming and crying. And the lady beside me is talking on her cell phone. She gets up and she comes back, and it was great. And I'm like, listen, I didn't say this, but I'm thinking it. I'm just thinking, you know what? I can do anything for an hour or 2, and I'm like, come on, really? It's a 2 or a 3-year-old. it is not going to remember this in a positive way. And no one around this child is going to remember it in a positive way. There's going to be no positive outcome to bringing this 2-3-year-old to a graduation ceremony, because everybody is going to suffer, including the 2 to 3-year-old who kept kicking me in the back. I'm like thinking, do you really think this was a good idea? Bust out $10 and get a babysitter for an hour. So if they're watching this video, that's what I was thinking the whole time your kid was kicking me in the back. Now, I feel like it's a pretty safe bet that those people were not among the 260 subscribers, which probably means this video is going to go viral and everybody in the world's going to see it, and those people are going to be like, well, that man's just rude. That man's just rude. He could have said something if he'd wanted to. I didn't say anything to anybody. I just sat there and did my thing and kept my mouth shut, which is what I wish that child would have done. End of the rant. So, wrap this video up. There's a little thing of a little fuzzy seed thing floating around. I'm not hallucinating. Here, I'm gonna wrap it up. Doctor said, well, the doctor's assistant was like, why'd you take your stitches out? So I got the feeling that wasn't really what I should have done, but they were growing over and they kept like busting into stuff, and I would hit things with my hand, and so I took them out. I would recommend, if you are watching this video, that you do not take your own stitches out. So there's that. They go on the record to say, do not take your own stitches out. The tumor was, what did I got the pathology report. They said it was consistent with a large cell fatty something. I forget. Something, large cell fatty tumor something. So good news on that front. So no malignancy, which the doctor said it was like there was no evidence of that in the MRI, no evidence of that, but he had the test done, the pathology report came back, so that's good news. I am getting out of here. It's Friday, Mother's Day is coming up, got some things to do for that, and this has been a fairly significant little graduation rant, so get that on into the thank you and subscribe section, and that's where we are. Hey, hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, like, comment, tell me about your most awesome graduation experience, which I'm sure that's gonna get no responses. I'm sure that no one is gonna come back and say, well, I went to this graduation one time, it was a lot of fun. But if you got one, or more likely, tell me about your miserable graduation experience, and just let me know how miserable you were, had a 3-year-old kicking you in the back. Thank you for watching. Comment, share, like, subscribe. Leave me a comment, please. See you in the next episode.